And that's my slogan for the semester.
Get degrees.
Nope. I'm just talking. He's doing a mic check. Are we just going to be syncing up our audio that we're recording here with their stuff?
No, it's going to take a full feed from here out there.
All right.
Do whatever you got to do. All right, so there's my mic check. I sound like $1 million. You go again, Jeff?
I'm watching an eyeball get pushed out of a guy's face on Reddit.
That's
It's not safe for work, and it's making me kind of grossed out.
Why are you doing this?
It says the all-seeing eye, and he literally just pushed his eye out.
Okay, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put this right there. I'm going to put this there. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is a beautiful sunny day.
What's our sound like upstairs, Lacey? Too light, too hard, too soft?
To your mom.
To your mom.
Seriously, that like made my stomach hurt.
Why would you do that?
And why is there a
Why
My
did you
Little
think that was a
Pony
good idea?
I
thing
know, I
next
saw
to
that too.
subreddit? What's going on here? Josh is taking over.
So although this is really cool, I saw
Alright,
a
so
skin
that's better. I
for
can go like
your
that. I can
pebble,
dance.
and it's the Fallout
What?
Fallout?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, the
The
skin?
little the start menu. So there's
That's pretty
cool,
cool.
cool.
right. I saw that and I was like, I might.
Why are we so off?
What's going on?
Lefts and rights are like not the
Jacked
same.
up.
Oh, there we go. I just need to find a match here. Okay.
Oh,
We
dude.
sound clean. We sound like $1 million.
Can I get this clamp out of the picture?
Yep. You can do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want, man.
Because I'm not concerned about what we look like. I just want to sound good and look good. So I sound good. You sound good. You sound good.
Yay.
We sound good.
I'll go up and double check it. So if you two will keep talking, we can
Yep.
get this thing going.
And
don't-
so.
Do you want to have Zach talk in your mic?
Yeah, Zach, you want to sit down?
Hello.
Levels are still low.
Gaming then and now. Ooh, this is kind of fun.
Oh, this is so much
Isn't
fun.
that true though?
Sony's been hinting at a reputation system. I'm really excited. I'm actually thinking about, in fact, I'm going to pull my friends list up and say all the ridiculous usernames.
Yay!
Is it good?
Mine's pretty weird sauce.
Sweet.
I should have. I don't know. I seriously took like 2 hours to decide on my
Really?
PlayStation ID, and then I came up with it, and I was
So
like,
Jeff
I'm not happy with
and
it.
Rachel and everyone
Hot
sounds
and
good. I
ready.
sound good. Bop, 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 bop.
Okay.
Hey, I'm going to be saying some kind of
Racy things.
racy things
Racy.
during our reputation system and other features. I'm going to just name some of the friends that no, I can't say that one.
Just some of them.
I have a guy on here that I met in my math class whose PSN username is ballsauceinu.
That's good.
That's freaking disgusting. But I have another guy that I played Mass Effect 3 with all the time. His name was DIKBREAKER, and every time I killed him, I'd yell, DIKBREAKER! And I'm going to say that because I loved it. Who names it just themselves DIKBREAKER? It's so stupid.
My favorite one was Your Mom. It was like Your Mom 983. So every time I would play Halo, it would just be like, Your Mom 983 killed you. And I was like, wow. Witty.
So I saw with the new Xbox One feature, if you say Xbox off, it just shuts off, right? That's what it does. It takes you to a shutdown menu that you hit X to shut down. And they were like, so I decided to name my profile this so that I could go into Call of Duty, piss people off, and they'd yell at me and shut down their systems. And the whole video is him like going up and just stabbing, trapping him in the corner and stabbing his teammates in the face. And they're like, Xbox One off, get away. And they're, no, stop.
That's awful.
I'd have been
You want to
pissed.
retweet that? I just sent out a link. We're live. Just for fun, just for kicks.
The retweets.
Tweet him.
And we have until 4. Josh wants to shoot at 4. So we should be able to do this in
40-ish.
40-ish. Oh, yeah.
No way,
We'll make
man.
up
What's he shooting?
Unclear.
Does he know you're the teacher and you're the boss?
I am the boss. We can go over it.
Like, this is the
And
mother
retweeted.
effing boss right now.
So I always talk about my
whatever I
friends on
want.
here, and if they
Did
would
you
just
tweet
listen
it
to
on Little Big Kast?
Yeah, that's what I sent out. So find Little Big Kast.
Say it again, Rachel.
Nothing? No?
I didn't hear
Let's
you.
go.
You said I
We have
something my friends.
5 minutes.
You said I
to do
something
this.
my friends, and then I
always-
lost it.
44.
I dick breaker my friends.
I dick breaker my
snap. What is
friends.
that?
It was supposed to be. I'm a gourmet guy, so I love good, good soup. Anyway,
It looks like it. That's
It's
what
really
you are.
good. It's really good tomato soup, like from all like pure like homely stuff,
Tomatoey stuff?
tomatoey stuff. However, we didn't have all the ingredients when we started it, and so it has tomato sauce instead of tomatoes. So it really tastes like it's just a really thick tomato sauce.
Is it the Costco kind?
No.
That's what it looks like.
Looks
It
like
comes in like a thing and it says gourmet tomato soup.
No.
And it has
Although
kind
it tastes
of like
that
this
good.
carroty taste to it.
weird.
No, this is like all pure and like vegetable garden stuff all blended together with Vitamix. So it's like, All right. I'm still rolling. You're still rolling. You're still rolling. Folks, let's get this game going.
Right on.
Your shots are good? You're good? All right. Whatever happens upstairs, but we're solid.
But we're comfortable. This episode of the Little Big Kast is brought to you by Monster
And tomato soup,
and Red Cups.
which totally melted in the
Me.
microwave. I killed it.
Tell.
Totally killed it. It was on 70%.
So it's like, yeah.
All right.
So it wasn't aluminum.
All the jokes I want to say with that are words we're not supposed to say anymore.
Why?
Like resource and retarded and
I know. I had a professor told Stacy because she said, "I guess I'm just retarded. I don't get it." And he turned to her and he goes,
Oh.
"You may be stupid, but you cannot be retarded. Like you can't say retarded." And she's like, "Yes, I
yeah,
can
that's like
say
a
that."
sensitive thing
Yeah.
for people.
Yeah.
It is. That
I'm
one's
like,
rough.
well, fine, I'm stupid. But then I
Are
told
we
my
live
kids-
right now
Yeah, we're
talking
totally
about
live.
this
We're
while
totally live.
everyone's hearing us have this conversation? That's cool.
Be careful with the words you say.
Yeah, stupid's okay.
Is it? I bet it won't be.
Ugly,
Mom.
stupid, idiot.
I
All the things
Ginger.
I tell my kids, not ginger.
Ginger.
Lols.
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 DIKBREAKER.
Okay,
That's where you
shall we?
draw the line. Showtime.
Let's do this thing.
So before we get
Right
started, I got to tell you this story
But we're
about
going.
gingers. There was this. We'll just have this as part of it. So I was working this job installing graphics on trade show booths, right? And my manager, his daughter came into work one day and was like, "I made a song about you." And she was like, this cute little kid. Her name is Kiami. And I was like, "Oh yeah, you made a song? What is it?" And she's like, "All the other kids with the redhead disorder." And I was like, "You're 6." I just got made fun of by a 6-year-old.
The redhead
Dang.
disorder.
Yeah, so
Get their kicks. That's that's good.
yeah,
That's good.
Are we recording then?
Yeah, we're hot and ready everywhere.
All right. So what's up, everybody? I am your host, Jeff Hawks. Today we're live in the studio.
And you can see us.
We've got cameras going, and so that's an interesting twist on what traditionally is an audio-only podcast. But we're happy to be here.
Yeah.
We are the Little Big Kast, the official PlayStation podcast of the KtData network, and today, I can honestly say, is the first podcast we've recorded where I have not felt kind of exhausted.
Don't
This is
blame you.
good.
It is
I know.
3 p.m, and I'm
Right.
drinking a Monster. So
I think
that
you probably
could
had
be
3
part of it.
monsters to this point. I
Right?
mean, you stack them in.
There's been a significant amount of caffeine.
Yeah.
That's how it works. I have a pot of coffee brewing down at the station, so I mean, I'm already.
I have tomato soup, so let's rock and roll.
Works.
Perfect.
Good.
Right on. So, I guess we'll just jump right into it. Drew, what have you been doing today? Well, so another side note. First of all, we're going to try and get through our entire agenda today. We
Yeah.
are not
In
going to be
45 minutes.
pumping those brakes. Last week we ran a little bit long.
And we enjoyed it, and
you know
it's
what?
good. It was good.
And that's cool. Yeah, totally. It's cool. We are a conversational podcast. But today, outside of my ramblings right now, we're going to try and push. And
I
get-
will keep
get
No
you
through
in
some
line.
stuff.
interruptions.
Right? Yeah.
Drew, what have you been doing, man?
Okay, so the last week or so, I pushed through Thomas Was Alone and had a great time doing that. Nice, short, quick game, but I really loved it. We'll talk more about that. I played Tales of Grace F. We talked about some of that a little while ago, Tales of Zillia and some of the others that just came out. So I got some of that from KT.
I want to know what you think about it, though. I've never played a Tales game.
So far, I love the JRPG feel.
Okay.
Like I love that. That's something I grew up on and just really enjoyed it. This one, I played, stay sitting right next to me late at night, and it just was going so slow. And it wasn't, it wasn't me just not hitting the button.
Right.
It was just like the storyline and the dialogue was going a little too slow for me. But I'm ready to get back to it and
And that's
keep
also
going.
kind of like a.
It's younger.
I mean, that's kind of a staple, though. Of like
Yeah.
JRPGs typically are a slow-moving
Yep.
boulder that
You just
grows and
yes,
grows
exactly.
and-
so
yeah.
at the very beginning, I just felt like, let me go so I can go to bed feeling like I accomplished something. But no, I'm still there. It's okay. Other than that, I moved my whole family out of my parents' house because my parents are coming home soon. So that was nice to be like, all right, brother, give mom her house back. So that was
Okay,
fun. That was
cool.
good. And then I've been working on Studio 76 staff a lot to make sure that everybody can come back next year and make stuff like this on staff. So.
absolutely.
That's it.
Which, by the way, congratulations, Rachel, for being
Rachel,
on staff.
welcome to staff.
Yay! I know. I'm so
Hey.
excited.
So, what have you been doing, Rachel, other than being
than-
given new responsibilities?
Yay, responsibility. No, I also, same thing, Thomas was alone. That actually took me a lot longer than I thought
What
it
is there to be a completionist about?
I know.
I mean, it's like
you
the
had to
beginning
get
and
the
end. It took me a while,
dots
too.
Was the thing. You had to catch all the little dots.
Oh, I did not catch any dots.
Exactly.
Did you catch dots?
I did.
Okay.
I think I got like 3 trophies out of it.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so
Yeah,
yeah.
I gotta go 6 trophies, or it's not worth it.
I know. Well, I know. I only got 3, and I was like, "What? I missed some." So I'll replay it eventually. But it was really good, and I don't know. It was good, but I don't know. It took me a lot longer than expected. Like I think I spent a lot of time on it, and I was up really late one night because I thought we were recording the next day.
Right, same here.
Yeah, me
So
too.
I stayed
Sorry.
up, and then we decided that the person who picked the indie game, I picked this indie game by the way. I had to like discuss it, so I was like, well, I have to beat it. So I stayed up really late, and I didn't end up beating it. So I'm kind of happy we rescheduled. But it was a great game. Same thing. I didn't get to Uncharted this week, but I did see Captain America,
Cool.
the Winter
If you can't
Soldier.
have Nathan Drake, might as well have Chris Pine, right?
Can I? It's really quick. So all the guys are like, "Ooh, look how hot Laura Croft is," and blah 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 blah. There's not enough girls to nerd rage about how hot Nathan Drake is, because he is just.
I'll say it.
He's perfect. Like
As a married man, I'll say it.
I can't talk to other females about like, oh my gosh, look at him, he's so manly and beautiful, and it's just they don't.
Wow.
You
So,
can't. Honestly,
I like-
can you get more manly than Nathan
You can't,
Drake?
I need
though.
to play
I like-
these just
He
to
is-
see what you two are raging
He's-
on.
It's
He's
like
beautiful.
if Laura Croft and Indiana Jones had the perfect love child, it would
True.
be Nathan Drake.
He's the perfect man. And I
Right.
even posted him as my Man Crush Monday on Instagram, and it only got like 7 likes, and they were all men.
I didn't
I'm
see
like,
that.
what
I
is
liked
wrong
that.
with females? What is wrong with you? So that I saw Captain America 2, and besides that, that's pretty much.
What'd you
look
think
at this
of
man.
Captain?
It was great. My only concern is that superhero movies are getting ridiculously long, like
Yeah.
always long. So it needed to be that long, but it's just.
Because it was like 2.
It was 2 hours and 15. Yeah, so it was rough, and like my butt. Yeah, I always pick the really comfy theaters, but even picking the comfy theaters with the fancy seats, I was still.
Here's the problem too: is with a 2-hour movie, if I get a soda, I have got
right.
to go
It
to
was
the
gone.
bathroom.
Need a
It was
potty break.
gone,
It's
right?
like
Yep.
you have to time it, and then you have to sprint, and the goal is to be back before a minute has
Anything
elapsed.
happens.
Like I never try to spend more than a minute.
So just
And
get the
I'm-
bigger soda and
You
hide
see
it.
like a 6'5" ginger running through the halls of a movie theater. Like I think it's kind of alarming, but
A little terrifying.
they can deal with it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah.
Look, ooh, he is hot.
Right, isn't he though? Look
Wow.
at him. That jawline though.
Ooh.
Yum.
Yeah. Okay, carry on. What else
So
we got?
Plus he's tough.
yeah, I thought it was a great movie. I got really excited for the trailers kind of led into the summer blockbusters. So like
Yep.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 looks really good, and Maleficent.
Whatever.
Melissa Fenton sounds just...
Maleficent looks amazing with Angelina Jolie. I don't think they could have picked a better actress for her. So
I was
agree.
like second trailer in before I realized that's who it was. Like I didn't
Right?
catch the
So-
She
who it
is
was.
like eerily similar to
it's way
the cartoon
It's like
Yeah, yeah.
scary.
that I grew up
perfect.
having nightmares
Right,
about.
right. I'm excited
Right.
about that.
And she
So,
turns into a
taking my
giant
kids.
awesome dragon, and dragons are super cool. So
Agreed.
that's my life in the past week or so.
Very
Jeff?
cool. See, I have been spending most of my last week buried in
Yes.
schoolwork.
Yes, you have.
I made the mistake of taking 18 credit hours this semester, and I'm not that great of a student.
If
to
I
be
would
able
have
to-
been your advisor.
if I was a
then-
good student, it wouldn't have been probably a big deal. But yeah. Anyway, so in the very little time I've had to play, I did spend some time with Thomas Was Alone. We'll get into that later. I probably played like 2.5 hours of Battlefield as a break from homework
Huge.
to
I don't
keep
know,
my
I think
mind.
it's usually like 10 hours a week or something. So you cut back.
I only saw 2 videos on Facebook this week. So.
Dude, but they were cool. Were they both like
Yeah,
so?
do it
I
again.
learned that you can put C4 on a vehicle and then drive the vehicle, jump out of it, and the vehicle will keep like running towards something, and then you can blow the C4 up once it gets close to something
that's
else.
cool.
So I've been like, honestly, all
Rigging
I'm
up-
doing anymore is trying to make clips that I can share that are awesome.
That's awesome.
So I spend most of, like while everyone else is going out and getting kills, I'm like, how can I make this look as cool and crazy as possible? So I'm like driving tanks off cliffs with C4 strapped to them into buildings full of enemies and blowing it up with the hopes that I can share it. So again, I never expected, to be the kind of gamer that wanted to share my gameplay. I've always kind of thought that was weird, but the more I do it, the more fun it is. And
You're one of those guys now.
yeah,
pretty
I
much.
am. That's me. Other than that, I also saw Captain America. It was great, and yeah, honestly,
It was surprisingly good.
It was a lot less. I felt like a lot less gimmicky than the last Captain
think so,
America, because
too.
the first Captain America I didn't love. I was like,
Yeah, I didn't love that.
I was kind of unimpressed.
I think I was too.
This one was much better. I felt like the story was more engaging, and honestly, it kind of played on some real world dark themes of security that America's
scary,
kind
yeah.
of dealing with right now, right? Like NSA spying and like gathering information about people. Like it dealt with some real world kind of heavy
Or soon
themes
to be real world, yeah.
that I was surprised that they took that kind of step and that they had the guts to make a movie about that, because
Well, kind of James Bond used to do that all through the Cold War. I mean, there was
Right,
kind of a similar
yeah.
feel. So yeah, that's interesting.
I really enjoyed it. Outside of that, we're going to be getting to Sony news, upcoming games, and our indie game of the week. So, you ready, Drew?
I'm ready.
All right,
Here
let's
we
kick
go.
it off.
Number one in news, we'll race through these because, I mean, news is news. You hear this all the time. So we heard Amazon came out recently. This is coming from pushsquare.com. They came out with their micro console, and as expected, they named it the Fire TV. It's a little minuscule set-top box designed to stream media applications, kind of like Netflix and Hulu to your television. And in addition to being a conduit for video content, this little machine can be upgraded with a gamepad. So it'll allow you to play your smartphone-esque type of titles with more traditional button-based gaming. So sounds a lot like the PS Vita TV, which was announced last fall-ish.
Right.
And it's been released in Japan, but we're yet to see it here or even hear about it. So question then is, did they steal the thunder?
So, do you want to go first? Do you want me to take it?
You go ahead.
Okay, so I think they're two very different products.
Okay.
At least from what was initially said about the Vita TV. The Vita TV initially was this kind of extension of your PlayStation 4. You would be able to stream PlayStation 4 games to any television in your home. That was like the idea behind it initially.
Okay.
Was that it was, I mean, the initial pitch was basically this is a USB stick that you're plugging into the back of your TV that will allow you to stream your Vita or your PS4 games from your console through your television. So say, my PS4 is in the family room. I can play this in my bedroom hooked up to the TV.
Oh, I see.
So initially, that was kind of the drive. And so I see these as being two different markets if that can be realized, because there has been very little information about Vita TV since the initial kind of...
Hey, this is coming.
Yeah,
it goes.
right.
And
If they can do that, it's a totally different product. I don't think they're related almost at all outside of, hey, upstairs now I can stream my Netflix through my PS3 or PS4.
which the Fire
downstairs.
TV would let you do as well,
Right.
with a different set of games.
Right.
So
My question is, are they going to be just running the Amazon Android platform? Like, because the Android phones have an Amazon store that sell games.
Right.
So would it just be the games connected directly to Android? Because I didn't see that in there. Have you heard about this?
I haven't heard which way they're going with it. So it just sounds like, I don't know what they've, and maybe they're not even there yet. It just sounds like they've kind of
What do you
said this
think?
is coming.
Yeah, what do you think, Rachel?
Right,
I mean,
well-
is it something that...
I think I don't know. I think the Vita and the Fire, they might have similar things. I think it's hard to see them as two different products, just because if they're going to utilize both of them the best way, it'd be cool if they can just combine them almost, sort of,
Yes, I don't.
right? But it's not. I think it's kind of weird that they would put kind of mobile gaming onto a TV. And one thing that the article I know discussed was that it's hard because a phone's like touch, and so
Right.
TVs aren't touch. So
But it's almost like they're kind of, I don't know, bridging the gap. But they're saying, we'll give you this little box, and you've got still something that can play.
Yeah, so I almost kind
Gamepad.
of see it as a Ouya.
Yeah, it
Right?
is. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
It's
And
essentially
it's
an
like-
Ouya that streams Netflix.
Exactly,
Because
it's
I
like-
don't think the Ouya does that.
And they kind of missed out on the last 6 months since their Kickstarter, and they kind of moved forward. And they hit the market, but they haven't really made a lot of bang. And then Amazon, with its big voice, came out and said, "Hey, we've got one."
Well, I don't feel like they've... I mean, the Ouya hasn't
Hasn't done
had
anything.
any
No.
success at all.
No.
And I think part of that, I think if Amazon can
It's
capitalize on the
original,
idea of streaming,
right.
I think they will do well for the market that they're going after. I think it seems like the Amazon Fire TV is... gaming is kind of secondary.
Yes, I would agree with
to what
that.
they're doing,
Right,
and
it's
that's
another place to
I think
put
what will
content.
separate the Vita from
Yeah,
the Fire.
that makes sense. All right, let's jump on briefly here. Number 2, this is from the Help Wanted file from DualShockers page. Today's an interesting career opportunity. There's an ad that's been published by Sony, because not today, it was recently, looking for a senior AI programmer for Bend Studio. So there's some interesting information. In that job call, it says, we're looking for an AI programmer to help develop complex human AI behaviors for current working title being developed by Bend. Not an entry-level position. Applicant must be able to demonstrate current working knowledge in the field of AI development for recent games. The role is closely related to both physics and animation engineer. And the most relevant part in the call says, complex human AI behaviors, state-of-the-art AI systems behaviors, including pathfinding, behavior execution, and autonomous decision-making. So, like, the whole thing is, like, this kind of rumor now that folks are saying, wait a minute, what did Ben make before? And they made what was it called, Siphon Filter?
They made the Siphon Filter
which is kind of a stealth
games,
which are game, right?
It was kind of the first, well, it kind of created the modern Splinter Cell.
Okay,
They kind of paved the way for Splinter Cell. They followed kind of in the footsteps of Metal Gear. So it's very similar stealth approaches as like Metal Gear, but they kind of took it to a new level, I guess, that kind of pioneered Splinter Cell.
That's what DualShockers and others are kind of reporting with this job call. Is like, okay, if they're looking for this, maybe in the works is, another version of this that's going to have really cool AI programming. So, any quick thoughts on those?
I'm kind of curious because if they're going to make AIs more complex and stuff, maybe AIs won't be a beneficial thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, remember when we played Outlast, it was like, okay, wait for him. He's going to check these rooms, and then he's going to come back, and then he's going to check. So there was a little bit of just a memorization that we had to do.
Right. So if there's just like algorithms, and the more complex they get, it's like, I don't know. And plus, if the AIs are going to be like your companion in games, like Elizabeth and Ellie were great, but if they become more human-like, then they're going to stop helping you. Then they're just going to be another...
Or it depends on how they code it, right? I mean, how they write that AI.
So we'll see.
So, and I'm in the school of thought that says, like, the more realistic you can make it, the more engrossing it's going to be, the better it will be.
For battlefields and things where you have other people that you're either hiding from or trying to kill, make them smarter.
Right, but I also feel like, to Rachel's point, like a game similar to Resogun. So if you tuned into our Outlast live stream, we were playing Resogun prior to getting that started. You probably saw it, and many of you have probably played it by now. That AI is already really difficult, even being able to say, like, okay, there's a pattern. We just need to find the pattern. As long as you can find the pattern, you can beat the boss. If the AI is adapting to your gameplay, it's going to require a lot more.
That's what I see.
That's
what I see here. Yeah.
And I kind of think about games like Demon Souls that are already like brutally difficult. And there is a certain gamer that is perfect for. I'm not that gamer. Like, I don't have enough time to grind for 6 hours to get through one level because I had to restart it 12 times.
Don't have enough anger management.
Right, that too.
Yeah.
So
cool. All right, number 3. The force is strong with this one. From a site called Kotaku, we found, because we talked about this like last week or the week before, I think, we were talking about where did Amy Hennig go from Naughty Dog. She was creative director, I believe, writer on the Uncharted series. She stepped off with earlier than March, and several others had. So there's kind of this question there. We found her. So EA's corporate site starts talking about the woman who helped give Naughty Dog's Uncharted series distinctive feel. Amy Hennig will now be working on Star Wars for the Battlefield publisher. So Amy Hennig is moving to EA. And it's kind of after she parted away. So, we found her. There you go.
I know, that's where she is.
What do you think? I mean, Star Wars, you either love it or indifference.
Do you want to go first this time?
Miss the bandwagon on Star Wars. So,
You're
it's
youngin'.
cool. I know. It's kind of, I think I tried to watch New Hope when I was like 7, and I fell asleep. I was 7, okay?
It's all good.
It was rough. So anyways, I kind of missed the bandwagon. However, I did want to play the Star Wars Unleashed series because they looked really rad. So, there's that. And plus, I think if almost anything can have like a Naughty Dog touch to it, which is what Hennig has, I think it can just make it better. So,
I think so. I mean, what Naughty Dog has done so well with her kind of at the helm of Uncharted is focus on storytelling and letting the story drive gameplay, drive, the environment as a whole.
Right.
And I feel like that's something that the Star Wars franchise has kind of lost touch with, whether it be the first 3 movies, episode 1, 2, and 3, whether it be any number of the dozens of games that have come out over the last several years. Like, I feel like all we're ever seeing is just a reskinning of something we've already seen before. And so I think Amy comes in with the experience that and this pedigree, right, of games that are going to allow her to come in and just say, I see this is my vision. And I think she could totally revolutionize the way that Star Wars games are put together and played and the stories that are told. I am nothing but optimistic about it. And on a side note, today Amy Hennig was tweeting that she went to breakfast with the crew of the Uncharted series. So it sounds like people are in the studio recording and stuff. And I like that she's keeping touch and in contact with these people. It makes me feel a little less concerned as far as like the hands that Uncharted 4 is now in, because I think had you had a really bad separation and there were a lot of bad blood, I think I would feel more concerned about the future of Uncharted. And
she'll be fine.
So while this isn't an Uncharted news topic that we're on, I was pumped to see like Nolan North and some of the other people that are acting in it. So
still there.
It's great.
Awesome. All right, last one. Could you spare a few minutes for the future? From VGX Network, they mentioned that PlayStation has a survey out that's indicated some thoughts. So just based on the survey, they're kind of supposing a few things. So survey goes out asking users what they want and how, and they kind of indicate that they're planning to introduce maybe a reputation system. They also kind of highlight the other features that Sony may be working towards, something like invisibility when you're online, advanced matchmaking, maybe the ability to change your PSN username, some more stuff like that. So it covers a whole bunch of features. You guys both look at the articles. Anything that stands out to you? Things that, being able to synchronize messages across platforms. So all this, again, coming from a survey, question is, are we going to see some of this happen? Some of it may never even happen.
What do you think users care about, too, is the other question, right? Like, what are the people that are filling these out?
Right. Who's
marking as being important.
Right.
So I've heard a lot of conversations have been had, especially with the new systems rolling out. Are you going to be able to change your username? That's been a concern that a lot of gamers have. I think when people, first of all, you can't abandon a username because that's where all your trophies are. That's where all your achievements are. Like to abandon that and start a new profile completely can be a really difficult thing to do because you've got a lot of history with that. You've like built up this kind of resume, right? Like people can go on and check your trophies and see what you've done. Sounds silly, but that's what it is.
Unless that's part of the changing your name idea. You can change your name and keep your trophies.
And that's what people wanted. Yeah, people wanted initially, hey, we want to be able to change our names, and because a lot of these people started playing games when they were in junior high or younger than that, and have some pretty ridiculous names. I play games with a dude that his PSN username is DIKBREAKER, DIKBREAKER. Like
maybe he's grown up now.
So every time I kill him, I yell out DIKBREAKER.
He figured it out.
But the reality is, I'm pretty sure the dude would change his username if he could, because it's ridiculous. Maybe he wouldn't, but I know a lot of people that would like to. I won't mention the username for this other friend, but he has told me several times, man, if I could go back and just change my name, that would make me really happy. He's
like, up a little bit.
In fact, so we met in a math class, and he was like, I kind of don't want to tell you my username because I'm embarrassed.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so
own it.
Yeah, own it. No matter how bad it is, own it.
I was going to say, because Xbox Live does allow you to change your username for the cost of $5 I think it is. So they actually charge you to change it. So, I mean, it's better than nothing.
It can't be that hard to do, though. Like, it should be something that's relatively simple. I don't know.
Right? I don't know. Maybe they just want you to commit. I don't know. But charging kind of works for it because, I mean, then the company kind of...
So what do you think will end up happening with, like, this reputation system? What do you see the significance behind that being?
I don't think it really, really matters a whole ton.
The only way I can see it making a difference is if you're primarily like an online multiplayer gamer, and you're thrown in a game, and from like maybe your team setup or the lobby, you can see, oh, this dude, everyone that plays with this guy gives him bad ratings. We're just gonna kick him. Like that's the only thing. I don't see anything like, oh, he's a really good player. I don't see that mattering. But I've played with several people that like they'll throw music on their headset while they play. And so you have to listen to whatever garbage they're playing at home the entire time. And I think if you could have some way of like denoting or like noting that on their tag or something so that other people could see it,
this guy plays
it would
bad.
encourage them to not be tools.
Yeah. Well, We'll see how
Right.
that plays out. That's it for news today.
Cool. So let's just get right into
All right, we
new
got
releases then. Is that
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Go a couple things. So on April 8th comes out Daylight. That we mentioned that just kind of that other horror game.
The teen version.
Yeah, the teen version of Outlast and the Daylight. Go figure. Also, Strike Suit Zero, the director's cut. King Oddball, which will be a puzzle game. Shin Megami Tensei Persona 4. I'm sure KT will correct me on that.
Yeah, you'll hear about that.
I know. Yeah, okay. So April 9th is The Wolf Among Us.
Yay.
Yeah, the third.
Episode 3.
Episode 3,
Yep,
okay, cool.
from Telltale Games.
Cool.
The 11th of April is going to be Lego The Hobbit preview, which I kind of want to get into the Lego series, guys. I mean, seems
I've heard a
kinda fun,
lot of good things about it.
right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, interesting. The 14th of April is Final Fantasy XIV Realm Reborn Online. April 15th would be FIFA World Cup Brazil preview. April 16th is Trials Fusion. April 29th is The Amazing Spider-Man 2 from Activision. So, I don't know. Then I don't know why I have Daylight on there twice. Interesting. And then JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle.
Sounds great.
Raiden 4 Overkill is the last one. So, April, we're getting more and more now that spring is approaching.
Yes, in fact, I was going to ask because we talked about the games that are coming out for the free-to-play games, for
Right.
the instant games, and we talked about Castle of Illusion and Stealth, and they hadn't shown up yet last week, so I was like, come on,
Really?
I'm waiting. But I found Stealth is now on today, the 8th, so it's
Okay,
on,
cool.
and I'm hoping Castle of Illusion comes soon.
Right on. So,
Beans.
yeah.
So yeah,
Thank you.
We'll get
to
into
do.
Indie Game of the Week while we're at it.
Yeah, so basically what we're going to be doing from now on is whoever picked the Indie Game of the Week, we're going to have them kind of host that section. So they
Excellent.
can give a breakdown of the game, what they thought about it, and open up for questions or whatever else. So today's Indie Game of the Week was picked by Rachel.
Yeah, so I'm pretty, like I said before, I'm pretty new to the whole indie game scene. So I wasn't really sure which one I wanted to pick. I just kind of searched lots of most commonly talked about games. And one that caught my attention was the one called Thomas Was Alone. So it's an indie puzzler developed by Mike Bithell at Bossa Studios. And the plot of the story is basically this company called Artificial Life Solutions, and they are building AIs, artificial intelligence. And it's basically about these little blocks / shapes / pixel clouds / quadrilaterals
Yes.
that are trying to escape the mainframe. So they're like these. It's a narrated game, and he just kind of narrates these, and you play the blocks, like the little squares, and they're different sizes, and each shape has a different power, and they all have names and they all have personalities, and that's narrated to you. You don't really see it; it's just kind of told to you. And I don't know. It was a really cool game. I liked it, and what I liked so much about it was that it's amazing that you can gain emotion from these shapes.
Right, because it's very flat. It's like
Right. It's
not
a
shaded.
shape.
It's
Right.
like a shape. Yeah.
Right. So it's just like the shape, and I don't know, the narrator just kind of tells you about, like, this is Chris, and he's a square, and he can't do anything, and he's grumpy. Right? But
Right.
he ends up falling in love with Laura, who's a flat rectangle, and
She's bouncy.
yeah, exactly. And as they fall in love, well, yeah, they hook up
I
essentially.
think it was one-sided, but
Right.
I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know.
But I don't know if it's a mutual thing. But you just kind of like, you gain emotion from these blocks. And
An
they,
attachment, right?
yeah, seriously. Like and the game also kind of tells you that, what I got from the game is that everyone has their own special ability and that, like, everyone's important. Because there is this one scene where they introduce this really big block, and her name is Claire.
I love Claire.
I know, and she's this huge block, and when they first introduce her, she's like falling into these depths, and water kills you in this game if you're a block, except you're Claire. So she was trying to kill herself, and she was trying to go into the hot boiling water, but when she falls, she didn't die. She didn't disintegrate. So
She floated.
right, her special power was that she floated, and like I said, Chris is grumpy and he can't jump high, but he fits through like little crevices.
Right.
So it's just like everyone's unique in their own way, and it was really cool. I don't know, it was just kind of like a good story and a good moral, and it's like about sacrificing yourself because it was so cute. I just can't even. Someone needs to. So Jeff,
was
what do you
cute.
think?
So a lot of what you just said is very similar to how I was feeling about the game.
Right.
Especially with Claire. I mean, when she goes in the water for the first time, yeah, she's trying to destroy herself. Like, she is unhappy because she's this big square. She goes in the water and she starts floating, and then I think he actually says, like,
A superpower.
I have a superpower.
Yeah.
Right. Then she becomes.
And then she's like hardcore.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
she's pumped because she's helping everyone else get to where they're going.
Yeah.
And so her, initially like seeing weakness becomes critical to the success of this group. And
Everyone.
yeah, it's interesting. When we talked about Journey, we had this character, right, that was non-sexed, and you didn't know if he was a man or a woman or a thing, like whatever he was, but you still felt connected to him through his experiences. And I think this game took that a step further. They said, not only are we we don't even give you a face.
Right.
Like, you don't have eyes, you don't have
Yep.
ears,
Yep.
you don't have legs,
No
you don't
sound,
have you don't have this cape that, billows, you don't have sand. All you have is colors and shapes and light.
Yep.
And they were able to create an engaging story with characters that you cared about, despite them not even being characters. Like, they're squares and rectangles, and I thought that was an absolute like true achievement, that you can tell a story that engages that many people without ever seeing someone's lips move, without seeing someone's eyes. Like, I was stunned. I loved it.
I thought it was the perfect length. It was about 3.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't.
5 for me.
Yeah, I didn't go chasing all the dots, but I loved the narrator, that kind of that British voice.
I like
Yeah,
the British
it was great.
narrator.
There was
so
a little bit
much.
of sarcasm, kind of snarkiness to the way that they told the story, which made it, each level kind of fun to hear about this kind of development of the relationships of the characters. I loved the moral of it as well. One that I even let my 4-year-old play yesterday,
Yeah.
and she was able to do a level all by herself.
Nice.
Before, right? I mean, it was like, okay, I showed her the buttons, and I was like, okay, you have to go L1 to change over to that box. Now notice that box is bouncy. Now you can't reach the white dots until the yellow one can jump that high. How is he going to jump high? So it was just fun for me to do problem solving with them at that age, to be like, put these together and you get your stuff.
Well, and that was part
one
of the cool things about indie games too, is that it affords creators a certain level of independence and creativity that AAA titles and demanding publishers won't allow.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
they are games that, like, I feel like you can take a really good message from that, and even little kids, like you said, like, there's something there to learn and to be gained from this game. And so to be able to sit down and play through it with someone, I think is absolutely fantastic.
And I love that each level was kind of really short. I mean, there's 100 levels, but to be able to be like, okay, this is a puzzle and it's this short. And in fact, I probably did like 2 or 3 of them that I did, more than 5 or 6 times just to try it, because it felt like it was flowing. So I thought it was a great game.
I kind of fell in love with it, honestly, from the first line of the game is, this is Thomas. Thomas was alone. Because I was when I heard the name Thomas was alone, I was like, what's this going to be about? Like, for whatever reason, it's saying that, and then having this just tiny little square all alone, like, you actually felt alone.
Right?
Well, you did. You felt alone. But I feel like the lighting that they used in the game, like, as
It was
a square
cool.
moved around and jumped, like how the lighting followed them.
Yeah.
I was very, very impressed with what they did and how they made it all come together.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Pick it up.
So you should check out the game, because I believe your PlayStation Plus, it's for free.
For the time being, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think all of us probably, right? I think all of us recommend it. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
go out, pick it
Thumbs up.
and let us know on Twitter what you guys think about it. So is it my turn to pick the next game?
Yes.
How long a game do you guys want to play?
Does not matter.
Because I'm kind of tempted to say that we should all go through and play through season 1 of The Walking Dead, but that will
longer.
be kind of probably like a 2 or 3 week
yeah.
series.
Ouch.
How would you guys feel about that? If we took off, like, if we said 1 episode a week, so it would be like a 4-week series, because there's 4 episodes in season 1. Is that something you guys are down for?
I'd be down. If you
Yeah.
space
Or
it
should
out
we
like
just
that.
say
Yeah.
we're gonna play Fez?
I go either way.
Because I'm one or the other. at
I
this
go either
point.
way.
Either or. Yeah. No. Either or.
We'll
In
let you
fact,
know. Watch our Twitter. We'll let you know
I know.
what we hammer out.
Actually, yeah.
You know,
we'll
I'm just
discuss-
calling it. We're gonna do Walking Dead.
Okay.
Yay.
So stay tuned.
I've been wanting
Next
to play
week
it.
we will be covering episode 1 of season 1 of The Walking Dead. I'm excited. I only ever played through episode 1.
Don't watch the series. Gonna play the game.
Totally different.
That's what I hear.
Not even connected. And from what I hear, we'll probably all cry.
Good. Let's do
So
it.
Okay.
why
TBA.
not do that? Moving on. We are quickly running out of time, but
We've been
heaven
wanting to
help
talk
us,
about this for a while.
We are
so-
going to talk about the
Yeah.
freaking Oculus Rift.
Yeah, again.
So, yeah, I'm going to intro this real quick. Basically, this is all over the news. Everyone's heard about it already. We just wanted to share kind of our opinions on it. So basically, Facebook is set to purchase the Oculus virtual reality headset.
For a lot of money.
Basically, it's a $2 billion deal. Essentially, the deal includes $400 million in cash and $1.6 billion in Facebook stock.
Hello.
As well as an additional I didn't know this, but as well as an additional $300 million if Oculus is able to meet certain performance targets.
Sounds about normal.
The news continues by saying, Oculus will continue to operate independently at its headquarters in Irvine, California. The deal is expected to close in the second quarter of 2014. Though the Rift has been pitched as a video gaming device, Facebook plans to use the technology for communications, media, and other forms of entertainment. In a conference call with analyst Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook's
Big boy.
chief executive officer, CEO, and creator, said virtual reality has the potential to be the next great computing evolution, following the transition from desktop computers to mobile devices.
So
Dun, dun,
yeah, right. I mean, we've talked about it, and we've talked a lot about it. And the idea you and I have heard, read, listened to Ready Player One, which is all based in this virtual reality world. That is the main way you get into this virtual reality world is an Oculus Rift style, the Oasis.
Yep.
I mean, it's a similar style. You put on a headset, you put on gloves that you can have a little bit of feedback on, and you go to school there. You basically live there. You work there, and so the world in this kind of what do you call it? Dystopian world, like where everything's kind of falling apart. That's where people go. So to hear this, of course, that's what we first thought of. Wow, it's coming down. It's going to happen. But as you read through some of these articles, and especially as you think about, okay, what does Facebook want with this? I think at some level it feels like to me that it's like we got this before anybody else could. We want this to happen, but Facebook knows that they're limited in what Facebook can be and will be for the next couple of years, because social media just keeps evolving and changing, and they're not always going to be the Facebook. And so in a way, it's like any good investor, they're trying to diversify the portfolio. They just put a huge chunk into into VR, which still keeps them relevant if they are indeed heading this direction where they're focusing on what did you say, on messaging, more than just entertainment, but communications, media, and that kind of form. And so I have a lot of, I guess, dreams of what they might do with the Oculus that's outside of PC gaming, but PC gaming is what it was initially kind of created for. Low cost VR for PC.
Right. No, and I think you're right on Facebook too, just because it's not necessarily like someone told me the other day, like it was a high schooler, that Facebook was for old people.
Yes.
Right? So I thought that was kind of humorous. But I mean, I think you're right. Facebook isn't necessarily dying, but it's definitely not as popular as it was. So I think that Facebook isn't necessarily trying to keep revamping Facebook, because they keep trying to come up with stuff, but I feel like they're just hitting a dead wall. But they did buy Instagram as well.
Right.
So, I mean, they didn't change the name. They didn't take anything of that. They still kept the name. And I'm pretty sure that's what they plan to do with the Oculus. They're not going to completely, consume it, but they just kind of want that on their, I feel like they have achievements too. So they're going to keep buying each company, they have this wall of all the companies they've bought.
Yeah.
They're headhunting.
And they're just knocking them out like that. But however, I will be really upset if I can't escape Facebook. The last thing I want to do is play a video game and get a notification of someone that's having a new baby. It's gonna be the worst thing ever. Right?
I hope you
That's
can
a
I think,
nightmare.
I think on the social side, I think that they are going to have to kind of revolutionize the way that people think about social in order for VR to work, right? Who's going to spend $500 to Facebook on their face?
Right.
You'd be surprised.
It would have to be a very different approach to the Facebook. I don't see the market for that kind of thing. The way that it is.
Right. It's not going to be a linear feed in your helmet. That doesn't make any sense.
I can't help but think that Mark Zuckerberg probably read Ready Player One, because the positive sides of VR in Ready Player One are incredible.
Right.
I mean, really, truly, kind of mind-blowingly incredible. There are also some negative sides to it as well, but the idea that you could have VR classrooms where teachers were able to take their students to Saturn and walk the rings of Saturn while talking about the different, chemical components that go into these rings. that they could take them to the tombs of King Tut and walk them down into the pyramid and show them, like, those are the kind of possibilities that I think are incredible. In Ready Player One, they incorporate these haptic feedback gloves that let them feel the world.
And that's
that
a big
they're
step,
seeing.
right? I mean, that's a big step to VR.
Yeah, it's huge. But I feel like if Facebook can capitalize on this in a way that that really encourages exploration and encourages people to experience something beyond just, a screen that maybe your posts are in 3D, so people that are more popular, people you like more are going to be closer to you.
They got to go beyond
even something as simple as this. Like in Ready Player One, the main character, Parseval, has this friend, H, that has a hangout, right?
Right, his own room.
Like he has his own room, and it looks like something straight out of the Breakfast Club. There's an old couch, a dialed television, and they sit around and they play together. They play these old school
Like Atari games, right?
games. And I think, what if that was your profile? Like, what if your profile was a room that you designed, that you created, that was uniquely yours, that you could invite your friends to? Like, in that respect, I think that would be sweet to be able to be like, hey, Drew, Rachel, come in my hangout, come watch a movie with me.
Yeah.
So you guys can come down and we can watch a movie. Like, those are the kind of things that I think would make it something that people would spend money on.
Right.
Because, I mean, obviously it can't stay the way that it is for it to survive in VR because it's a screen. But I don't know. I think in that regard, if they can manage to do something like this, I could totally see public school systems incorporating these kind of things into their educational processes.
And like you talk about walking the rings of Saturn or King Tut's tomb or whatever, those kinds of things, is fantastic. I guess I think about it more as a media producer. Who gets to be the one that makes either the footage or the animations or whatever that makes those things come to life. Like, it's going to take a certain rig of cameras to be able to capture the 3D feel to then translate back to the Oculus. And to do it well and to do it fast. I mean,
thinking about it now kind of makes me feel like I should have gone into programming.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Because programming is going to be
virtual
huge.
worlds.
It's going to be huge if that's the level it goes. I also, in the video world, just in the movie world, I would love to see this take a form where, and I think Zuckerberg mentions this in one of his interviews, imagine just watching a movie and enjoying it, and hearing footsteps behind you and having to turn around to be to see who it is. Like, you get a different experience watching that movie,
Which is also kind of from Ready Player One, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they talk about being thrown into movies and being part of the movie experience
and trying to be a character in that movie. And so imagine if movies were shot with that idea. So it's just like you get to see what you want to see and be involved as you want. And I think that's exciting to be able to shoot something from not this flat perspective and not the 3D style that we see now in the 3D theaters.
It makes you barf.
But yeah, exactly. But that's a whole nother story on the Oculus. But yeah, to be able to be into something and to be able to say, okay, I'm going to look around the pillar. I'm going to look behind and see what I can see. So a lot of room for Easter eggs there. If you do.
Yeah. So while what we're discussing right now isn't specifically Sony, obviously Sony has Project Morpheus coming out that will be
in the gaming world. I think they'll try some of those things.
A much heavier gaming, I think, rig than what the Oculus will probably end up being initially with Facebook's acquisition.
Yeah,
Come on, Jeff.
You made that one up.
But what I see happening is I see that same incorporation in like PlayStation Home on the PS3. They had the PlayStation Home, right? Which was this virtual world that you could go around and do all that stuff. But also, I think as they've pushed this social capability through the PlayStation 4, the shareability.
Right.
What if your profile, again, like I kind of am stuck on the idea of this room, right, that's yours that you can invite people to and it can be your place and people can see your personality come through, where, you can open a file cabinet and see all of the different videos that you can pull out a video and throw it on the wall. Like, I think there are definitely cool ideas
should have
here
been a programmer.
that could be explored. I don't know.
Just start over.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, just
You're graduating?
Graduating
Do
in
it
like a
again.
couple weeks. Yeah, just start over. That's cool.
Programming should have done.
Whatever.
Very cool. We're pushing 50 minutes.
So we're gonna wrap up.
Yeah.
We have carried over several. Here's an update tally on all the people who have died of a marijuana overdose.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I was like, how is that related?
How
put
did
that
that
in
get
there?
posted there?
None of us
Mickey
put that in
Rooney.
there.
We have a rogue topic
Did
about people
KT throw
dying
this
from
in there? 'Cause
marijuana overdoses.
Does he have access? I didn't put that in there.
I didn't either. You guys seriously didn't do that? Because that's
Seriously,
hilarious.
because I added the indie game, and I was like,
I'm going to go back after this. I'm going to open up
That
the
is
archives and find out
so
which one of
funny.
us made that change. 'Cause that's funny. Yeah, no, we've carried over some topics. I mean, there's some that we want to talk about still. We did character customization, right?
No, we didn't.
Nope.
Oh no, we haven't. Okay, so that's one that
So we'll get into
carried
that
over.
later.
Yep.
So anyway, thank you for joining us on the seventh
Yeah, seventh episode.
of the Little Big Kast.
Crazy.
We would love for you to contact us, communicate with us via Twitter, via email, whatever you want to do. We are at LittleBigKast on Twitter, and you can email us at littlebigkast@ktdata.net. Thank you for listening today.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're pumped
Appreciate
that you
it.
decided to stop by, pick up Thomas Was Alone, and if you would like to play through The Walking Dead with us,
Yes.
episode
Yeah.
1 we will be discussing next week. So play through episode 1 and
Leave us your
join the
thoughts.
conversation. Let us
Yeah.
know what you think.
Let us know.
Let us know if there's anything you want us to get into. And other than that, we're gonna peace out. So we'll see you guys.
Time. Thank you.
Okay, let's figure out the
Jazz
intro
hands.
real fast.
Okay.
What did you do, Rachel?
Rachel was alone.
Rachel was alone.
Should I just say that?
Right.
Yeah, she can stop. On this episode, Rachel